like 10 things you should never talk about in FF14. I'm not actually sure if this video is about like what can get you banned or like some sort of her twist of like what's like socially unacceptable to like say to other people. I'm actually kind of curious because more often than not, her videos like turn into guides somehow. Like
Right.
you watch the video and you like learn stuff. Like, dang it! Like I'm not here to learn, but here I am with like my head full of info that I actually need.
I might
Weird,
need
isn't
this
it?
because I'm not
Yeah.
very good at that.
I actually don't know.
Social conversations about that.
Yeah, I'm not good with TOS, and I'm not good at anything. I just don't talk. Most of the time, I just like emote and have my safe macros.
Hey you, wanna know how to start a keyboard war in Final Fantasy XIV? My nick manager told me I really need to rebrand this video if I don't want to get banned, so allow me to rephrase the question. Do you know how to avoid arguments in 14? I'm just going to assume you said no, because otherwise this video is completely useless. Don't even worry about it, human, because I have spent a lot of my time wasting my time lurking on subreddits, discords, YouTube comments, and even the dreaded official forums section. And now I have my—
Have you ever written there? I have never even stepped
I've never
foot
even read
into.
a thread.
No, I actually only know about the forums because at one point I was researching like the websites that you can like I don't know use and get something out of for Final Fantasy.
Is it in Lodestone? I don't even know where it is. Lodestone, right?
I would
I don't even
say
know.
yes, but like it was like my research like a long time ago. I to be honest, I don't even
I have no reason
remember.
to go there.
Yeah, you know everything. Like, why would you ever participate in forums,
What do
right?
you mean? Yeah, YouTube guides.
Right. Okay, because that's the only.
I'm a visual learner. I'm a visual learner.
Right.
my hand on the bleeding heart of this best ever community. Whatever you do, do not use these and throw them into Reddit like a hand grenade and run away before the place explodes. This video is meant to help people avoid, embarrassing and controversial situations in game. I'll even name it something real quick.
Okay, so can get you banned, but can get you like eternally just shamed and yeah.
Lady like, never talk about these 10 things in Final Fantasy XIV. Oh yeah, that's it. Now Yoshi P is definitely gonna give me some of Daddy's This is the part of the YouTube video where I remind you that liking, commenting, and subscribing to the Cringe Empire lets you see a special secret graph at the end of every video. And when you subscribe to my channel, one blue mage casts self-destruct. Join the good fight, human. Alright, so the first and probably most infamous argument starter: should healers have to DPS? If you weren't there back in the 2.0
like ratings, just don't. Love it.
to 3.0 days, here's the gist. If a healer wanted to deal decent damage, they needed to use Cleric Stance, which swapped their mind stat to Intelligence. This meant you—
Does that even exist anymore?
No, not anymore.
Like
I used to.
I feel like whenever I heal and do damage, like in my mind, like I feel like I spend the exact same amount of time in the dungeon when I do damage and when I don't do damage. I feel like they just like made those damage spells just so that you can feel a little better about yourself and have like buttons to press and something to do while other people
Healer damage.
It's like when you cook and you give your child like play toys that like knives that don't cut and like the dishes that just like
don't break.
Yeah, don't break, so that they would feel like they're doing something. That's how I feel when I do damage, because like I literally will press buttons and
they think they're helping, but they're not.
Yeah, when everyone else is AFK and when I'm doing that, like nothing ever happens. Like you don't feel. Okay, yeah,
I usually damage good, so.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
My DPS is on point.
Okay, yeah, maybe you know, you getting gear is actually sometimes it makes sense to get gear.
You couldn't heal for shit until you turned it off. Then in 4.0, they removed the skill and made healer damage scale off of the mind stat. So now that it's piss easy to deal damage, it's no longer socially acceptable to drool all over the keyboard while spamming Cure 3 on single target. Nowadays.
Is that Sage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention. I haven't even unlocked Sage!
You haven't yet?
No, I was waiting to do it on stream to like do it for the story and whatnot, but like I just never got around to it. It's just like sitting there. Like at one point, the closest I went to unlocking Sage is like standing in front of the quest giver and like clicking on it to read the name of the quest, and then for some reason I got distracted and I'm like, oh dang, just gonna do this
on stream?
No, I did it off stream, but then like, you know, like how I don't like to do content off stream, then I just like went like this. Like...
No, but it's I aesthetically. They look...
You level yours, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Healers will DPS without issue, but anti-healer DPS trolls will come crawling out of their graves if you bring up the topic in any way, shape, or form. Save yourself the headache and just don't. Trust number 2, and let me know if this phrase triggers your fight or flight instinct. You pull it, you tank it. I feel like this one isn't really specific to 14. It probably haunts other MMOs too, but this argument comes.
Sure, you can tank it, but like you'll last what, like 2 seconds of the tank satisfaction,
Honestly,
or what?
I do that all the time.
What you say?
If like a DPS runs like ahead of me, or like the healer runs ahead of me, and then they pull it, I'm not even gonna like run. I'm just gonna leave.
I get so sad when I see that arrow like just like pointing at someone else. I'm like, I'm right there, you know. Like,
I just run to the group and pretend I'm gonna do something, but I don't, and I just let them die. Like, dude, that's your fault. Why you wait for me?
Oh my god, really?
Oh, yeah, it's like, dude, like, okay, you sprinted ahead of me. Like, you wanted to sprint. Go ahead. I didn't want to use my sprint. I just let him die.
I did not know we were a jerk.
Comes up
Yeah,
every
sure.
other
Waste
day on
waste your
forums.
time.
Some players think only tanks should
Worth
pull, and that it's extremely rude to do it for them. And the other side thinks it's more rude to waste other people's time and not go at the pace that the party wants. There's a lot of other stuff that gets argued about when it comes to large pulls, like tank or healer skill, whether the DPS are using AoE properly, lower broken gear. I could keep going, but I'd rather eat at a Burger King than see.
Like, where do you even find those people who you can argue with in Final Fantasy? Like, I never even have these conversations. Everyone's either nice, or they emote, or they don't talk, or whatever. Like, I've never even participated in these conversations. What time of the day?
They come far and few between. Like, don't get me wrong. Maybe like I've had maybe like 3 or 4 experiences where like a DPS or like a healer like ran ahead of me.
But maybe it's because I play during the night. Like, everyone's either too tired or like woke up
Everybody's
and they're
chill.
too sleepy
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, I've had this for the day, so.
See this argument rehashed ever again. 3. This topic flies under the radar sometimes, but usually comes back around anytime a cool-looking Mog Station item gets released. Not much to say here. Some players just really hate the fact that there's a cash shop and a subscription-based MMO. Pretty silly, right? I mean, there's just so much content in the game that no one ever unsubs anyway. Can't believe they expect these items to be available with in-game events or actual quests or something. Other people don't care and see it as a way to support the devs beyond just paying their sub. This one split about 50-50, but the people who don't like it tend to really not like it.
Is this from the Mog Station?
No.
The armor?
That's the machinist artifact gear for Endwalker. I was talking about the Lalafell.
Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention. But like, I don't know, like when it comes to Mog Station, like I always say, there's so many beautiful things in the game that you can get if you just try, and I feel like you can be just as, you know, good looking when you just get something from the game.
From like dungeon gears and such. There's a lot of good dungeon gears, yeah, for sure.
Well, okay, you like some like quirky things that I would normally find too ordinary.
Wow.
Like,
I like armors. What do you mean?
Yeah,
I
okay,
like armors.
yeah, okay, armors, but like sometimes you're like, oh, this is so cool, and then I like look at the armor and I'm like, well, it looks nice, you know, it's fine, but like, I like try really hard to like find the, you know, the cool thing that you're
Just be honest, dude.
Like, no, but that was like back in the day. Now I just like say things to you.
Yeah.
That I actually mean.
I know.
No, I mean it's pretty, right? But like sometimes I just like struggle. Like sometimes you'll show it something to me, and I'm like, did he forget to like sheath the weapon, or maybe like I don't know, show the headgear or something? Like I'm looking at the character.
I'm
like,
a bunny boy. I don't have a headgear.
You do have headgear now. Exactly, but like I said, like with the Mog Station, I feel like you don't want to go and buy everything at the Mog Station because from what I've seen, there's a lot of items that are so specific. Like for example, if you're Athanos fan and you want the attire, you're gonna get that one. You're not gonna get like all of the attires. You're not gonna get like every single dress or whatever because your character might not want to like
What do you mean?
wear
So
all of these.
you're buying like the specific like the body gear only?
Well,
kind of thing,
yeah,
or-
like you will have like a dress that looks like very Easternish. Like if you want to make like an Eastern Mog, you're gonna get something like that. But at the same time, you'll have like a lot of stuff that looks like I don't know, vampire gear. But what if you don't like it? You're never just gonna go and collect that just because you can.
Yeah.
Because there's also like limited dresser space, so I don't think it's that bad. It's just like offers you additional choice and an opportunity to to further customize your character. Like whenever I would look for something, let's say whenever I would want to make like an Eastern mug, usually the best Eastern looking items are from the mug station. But I kind of understand that because it's an Eastern game, and then like if that's something that they emphasize on, like I don't know, like in my opinion, it's fine. Not because they're an Eastern game, but because I don't know why. I just feel like it's fine. Like I see nothing wrong with it.
I thought the Deltascape ones were good, like the armors from the Deltascape, the Omega ones.
Yeah, those are terrific. Yeah. But like I said, not everyone's gonna want to wear them. It's like they're so oddly specific that like if you get something, you're either gonna get it as a treat because that's something you really want, or because you want to support, you know, the devs. You don't go and collect everything when it comes to like the glam, right? Mounts and minions, though, they're different.
Mounts is good. Minions definitely not for me, but mounts for sure. I wouldn't do it for the glams either, unless it's like specific ones. Like
for the mounts really kind of, you know, I don't know, make me want to have them. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't know, not every mount is good. But mounts are probably the only thing that I would go out of my way and actively collect just so that I can have them, because I use the mount roulette button. Mm-hmm. I don't often just take a particular mount and just find it to a job or something like that. I like using all of them. Yeah, so you know, the more I have them, the better my experience is.
No, not the same for me. I don't go. No? I just have like maybe 2 or 3. I just the card, the lion. Then
so you have so they're like bound to your hotbars, and then you just I just use the roulette. I like using everything I have. Why am I even playing the game if I'm not going to use those mounts that I got from these achievements? And I haven't even found a single mount that just kind of looks plain bad. Like I don't know a single mount that to me.
Well, you were about the clipping though, so.
Yeah, about the clipping, like that depends on what I wear. Like if I'm wearing something in particular, that usually happens with the casters. So like I didn't used to have that problem with Pally or whatever. Like she didn't used to wear a dress, but now when I'm playing a healer, it's like everything has a dress. Yeah, you know, I can't ride my horses.
Skimpy.
I know, right? And then I just drive a car. It's not a big role play for me because I'm not a driver, so. Kind of sucks, but what do you do?
Just steer clear. Number 4, and this one's a biggie. Never tell someone that you find the job they play really easy. I mean it, human. Don't you dare. There's this weird sense of pride players have about their job being considered difficult by the vast majority of the community, and if you tell them you don't think it is, it kinda hurts their ego. I mean...
Do you feel that way? Do you feel that way, like when someone tells you that, like, that what you're playing is easy? Do you get offended?
No, not at all.
I mean, I'm kind of happy when people recommend me an easy job to level. Maybe that's different. But, like, I have no problem someone telling me that, like, this is easy and that I maybe should give that a go. Yeah. Like, that's how I started playing Dancer. And Dancer was ridiculously easy. Like, if someone was to tell me, like, okay, yeah, Dancer is easy, I'm like, so what? I didn't create it. Yeah. Like, I'm not there to just kind of make myself feel like I'm playing something difficult.
Did you think Machinist was easy?
No, but to me, Machinist was just very satisfying.
Yeah. That's the thing, like, every class technically is easy. It's being optimal is what makes it hard, right? But obviously, levels with most cases, most classes. Yeah. Being optimal is difficult.
I guess.
People will be cool about it and agree with you, but I don't recommend taking the risk. If you really just want to watch the world burn, make sure you say that Dancer and Summoner are difficult. As of 6.0, the community has decided you could play these jobs with your toes while eating a messy burrito and mid-brain aneurysm. Reminder, never go against the hive mind, human. And jumping off of that, number 5. Don't tell people that you think the game itself is hard either. Listen, if you're new to the game, it's only natural you find it challenging, at least at first. Some people have a tendency to forget that we haven't all been playing this game from the moment we escaped our mother's womb prison. If you mention the main story dungeons or solo instances difficult, you will be made fun of on the internet. They will go to great lengths to explain why the game is pitifully easy casual bait. If the idea of that terrifies me, I can only imagine you're shaking in your boots right now. My best advice is to not take it personally.
I love how community has a bit of... I love how she's just like casually, slowly dying in the background. Yeah, it was
boots right now. My best advice is to not take
Oh.
it personally. It's a bit of gamer PTSD due to trials being made easier and easier over time. It's a bit of a sore subject. Number 6 without the 9. Now don't feel bad if you've done this because this one is a topic I myself haven't learned to shut up about. To put it simply, don't talk about job design. I mean, don't talk about it being good or bad because no matter which opinion you have, someone will very strongly disagree with you. Definitely don't mention that you think a certain
Like it is with everything. But
yeah,
like I think that Final Fantasy people don't understand how much of a utopia Final Fantasy is, let's say in comparison to WoW. Let's say I used to play Warlock in WoW, and Warlock will have, like, as a class, will have 3 different specs, which is like a subclass within it. They do like different things. You have to like different gear for the. Sometimes, like, some pieces of gear are different because the gear has different stats.
Yeah.
And you need like different stuff. It's like playing 3 jobs in one. However, like when you pick a warlock, you don't just go and say I play warlock. You have to say like which warlock you're playing.
I see.
And
Like what you're spec for.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
And in Shadowlands, at the beginning of the Shadowlands at least, the only good warlock was the Affliction warlock. And you kind of always had to say, like, whenever you enter like a dungeon group or whatever, which warlock you're playing, so that they would admit you. Because if you go and say that you're playing like a demonology warlock, they just kick you out.
Yeah.
Like,
See, that's the thing. Like for WoW, is it like easy? How can you reset your stats? Is it easy, or you have to like?
What do you mean reset stats?
You can't reset your stats.
You can switch your spec, but you can't do it like mid dungeon or whatever.
Okay,
like,
okay, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah, like you enter a dungeon with a certain spec, and you can't like respec
Until you
mid-fight.
leave. Okay, okay.
Yeah, so it's no, you can't respec mid bosses or anything like that. You have to. You can in wait in raid. I forgot actually in raid. Shut up! Don't laugh at me. In raids, you can exit raids and you can come back or whatever. But like if you're doing like a mythic plus run, which is like a timed run, I don't think you can like get out and like respec and come. I don't think that's possible. But the point is, you want to play the best spec, and people in Final Fantasy think that some jobs are like poorly balanced or poorly designed, but they know nothing about like how imbalanced that was in WoW. It's like you want to play something, but you literally can't because there are no people who will want to play with you.
I see.
Like I used to main Feral Druid, which is one of the 2 like DPS specs of Druid. Druid had like a healer, a tank, and 2 DPSs.
Okay.
One of them was Feral, and one of them was Boomkin. It's like an owl. Never mind, but that one was the better one. It's like you queue a dungeon with a druid and you queue as a DPS, and they're like, "Oh, Boomkin, I assume," and I'm like, "No, I'm feral." And next thing you know, you're just kicked out of the group.
Really?
No one
Wow.
really wants to play with you because, like, even though it's not really that big of a deal. Like, if you're a good,
that was my next question. Like, does it really like limit your DPS kind of thing, or
it's bad DPS, but a good feral druid will always be better than a bad boomkin. But no one wants to give you a shot because you don't normally assume that a person will be good. You look at like what's the best for your group, and if you're looking for like a timed run or whatever, you will just not want a feral druid because there's like 5 other boomkins trying to get into your group, and you'll take them over the other ones. It works like that. So this is a big utopia that people just don't understand. Like, jobs in FF14 in comparison to that are super balanced because there's nothing that you can play that people will like kick you out of the group for. Not even in the high-end content, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay, if you have like a static, you
like
guys
unless like a group is looking for specific classes, like for example, like if they want like a maximum like samurai with dancer.
Yeah, but like normally you would do that within like a static, or within like a high-end group where everyone.
But not in PF for sure.
Yeah, over here it's over there.
Well,
here,
sometimes in PF
anymore.
they specify, but more often than not, no.
Yeah, no. Here it's different than it.
Job is OP or needs to be nerfed. We don't take kindly to nerf and talk round these parts, cowboy. Don't be like me, kids. There is no winning here. Only the destruction of long-time friendships awaits you if you walk down this dark path. And for lucky number 7, we have leggings! Yay! Obligatory warning that
Bars run.
What? Bars? I don't know what that means.
Maybe
what?
There.
I thought you would know.
What? What's a bars run?
Talking about this in game can get you banned, so straight up, don't do it. Unless the idea of being in Yoshi P's naughty player dungeon
being
gets
in
you all.
like I guess people that have the DPS meter.
Oh, it's like
Maybe
asking what would it be like asking if this is like a run where?
See, I've always been afraid to ask that. Like, anybody got the parse? I want to know what my DPS is.
But it would be parse with a P, not B.
Yeah, sure. I don't know what parse is.
I have no clue. I actually don't understand. I'm just so bad.
Hot and bothered? Sorry, I regret that one. So anyway, there's debate over how plugins should be used. Some are okay with parsing DPS numbers, but draw the line at using plugins that give them unfair advantages, like 100% accurate mechanic callouts or lowering their ping down to 0. And, you know, modding every girl character to be automatically naked and well-endowed both on top and,
Wait, you can mod, like, others so that, like, when you enter the group, they can see you without your... Oh, that would make me feel so awkward. Imagine, like, entering, like, it would feel like entering a room where you know that there's Superman who has, like, an X-ray vision or whatever. It's like, you know, that someone can see you, like, no matter what you wear. That would make me feel so awkward. Thank God people can't do that in real life, right?
You can imagine why there's some controversy here. Honestly, I think many people are scarred by the WoW debacle, where the devs began designing encounters with plugins in mind. And people don't want that to become the standard here. Me personally, I would love to see content designed with Fuda Cat girls in mind. For number 8, take my word for it and do not criticize the story. I mean, you can get away with talking bad about
You can anyway, the story's great.
I mean, depends on the content. Like, people will often tell me that, like, Boja's story is bad. I don't know why, because I haven't done the story yet. But
I think it's bad.
The only thing that will happen is, like, I will feel discouraged from I don't know, doing the content. But people are unapologetic about, like, the what they think is a bad story. Like, if there's, like, a bad job quest line or whatever, they'll say, like, that's bad.
But it's all about perspective, though. Like, some people find, like, other story quest lines like better or worse compared to others.
I think it depends.
I thought Boja
on,
was
like,
good.
I think it depends on, like, what most people think, because mostly you won't get flamed for saying, like, oh, Stormblood's story is bad.
Yeah.
But, like, if you go say, like, oh, Endwalker ending was so bad, you know, like, you'll have people, like, typing out, oh!
I'm Stormblood, but if you so much as imply that Heavensward and Shadowbringers aren't the absolute pinnacle of storytelling, you will be met with stinky samurai swords at the ready. It's totally fine if the story isn't your thing, but I don't recommend going around telling people how boring and stupid you find it, because the vast majority of us at least somewhat enjoy, if not simp, for the story of this game. This is not like every other MMO community where the story being bad is universally accepted. Let's just put it that way. 9 might seem...
Oh, I do love how these bunny ears are sticking out of the hat.
Where the story being bad is universally accepted.
Look at that.
Let's just put it.
Like, even the hair is like correctly positioned.
Look at teardrop. Oh, that's
do you know, like, when that gear was around for me, like, I didn't even know I could, like, put up and down my visor. I just did not have that knowledge at all. It was bad.
I thought you knew.
No, I did not know. No one taught me.
That way. 9 might seem kind of obvious, but if you ask any WoW player, they'll probably laugh and agree that their game is toxic as hell. But do not say this about the 14 community. No. Do not...
What's a GC... But...
GCBTW? No idea.
How we know they graduated top of their class and the Navy SEALs of what?
Say that passive-aggressive behavior is also problematic. As long as they're not telling you how terrible you are at the game, it's fine if they type things like, never had anyone tell me that using the in-game free cure trait was a bad thing. But okay, mentor. I don't know if you've heard this already, but Final Fantasy XIV won the Best Community Award. And if you think some players hide their toxicity behind subtle grieving behaviors, you would be right, but you will also be met with a lot of whataboutisms referring to WoW. The 14 community isn't isn't the best of all time, as the Moist Meter King would say, but they pride themselves on being hashtag better than WoW. Better not piss on that parade. And number 10, it's very similar to number 9. Do not talk badly about the devs. This is one of the most controversial things on this list, and if you talk about the developers in a slightly negative way, and Satan forbid it's about Yoshi P, the
because they make it like almost impossible for you to say something bad and be right about it. It's like all these wholesome people on Twitter who like, you know, share their feelings and they're friendly and talk to the community. Like, how can you possibly, like, I don't know, trash them?
That's the thing.
Oh, who said? Yeah.
He's so caring. Like, he cares about the community so much.
But I think, do you know how people say that, like, you can like pretend in front of like the camera or the community for like a certain amount of time, but later, like you will kind of slip through. Like like you can't be that good at pretending, you know, to actually care and be kind and stuff. And this product, like, I guess a game like this doesn't just happen with you just kind of sitting at your desk pretending to be nice and having the community adore you, whereas you're just like a massive douchebag. Yeah, exactly. Because today there's internet, there's, you know, there are so many ways for you to find out like what actually happens behind the scenes. Like look at WoW. Yeah.
Lord and Savior of all people, you will be assassinated. I guarantee it. If you've ever wondered why small indie company is a meme here, it's because some players treat them as if they're a tiny dev team that should never be criticized. You may be thinking to yourself, what? They're literally part of Square Enix, which is correct. But how dare you say it out loud? Scroll through the comments and one day there will be at least one person responding to this part of this video. The devs work really hard. They care about the game. They're not greedy like other devs, etc, etc. Which is proof this should be on the list. No worries, human. I'm happy to take this bullet for you. I'm used to it by now. And an extra sore subject for you to avoid. Welcome to our final surprise topic, number 11. This one's crucial, so get out your pen and paper. Do not say you like other MMOs better than 14. If you don't follow any of my other advice on this list, at least listen to this one. Anything is true about us 14 players. We hate WoW. Terra Online, can't stand it. Lost Ark, damn, that's crazy. Hope he finds it. Bladen Soul, Yeah, no. If you imply this game isn't the best MMO on the market, you will be shunned. Whenever you try to mention...
It's like, you really want to joke about this, but the truth is...
It is true. I defend it pretty heavily.
Yeah, me too. I thought I wasn't gonna, because like I used to be somewhat of a WoW apologist. I would be like, oh yeah, well, I just play casually. I don't care about, you know, the fact that the jobs aren't balanced or that there's a token or whatever. Like, I used to just like not worry about these things too much, and I'm like, well, you know, you shouldn't spend your energy on like getting stressed about things. But then things start affecting you, especially as a content creator. It's like you create content and everyone hates you, and then you just kind of realize, okay, maybe there's some reason why people, you know, do this, and then you kind of look deep into it, and you realize that you've been under like mad amounts of copium this whole time, and you just wanted your game to be good. But like it just isn't.
Something 14 could improve on, you will always be met with, but this MMO is worse, which shuts down every conversation on the matter. Don't waste your time. I mean, if you're planning to quit the game for good anyway, you should just use Shout Chat and Limsa Lamenza and say, wow, it's so much better than this game. Can't believe you weeaboos enjoyed this garbage, and sit back to enjoy the carnage. Only use this sword though, because it can inflict psychological damage on the and there you have it, folks. 11 things you should never talk about in 14. Unless you want to be universally hated, then definitely talk about these things. Talk about them a lot. In fact, you should be like the Sephiroth of 14, just popping into our lives with hot takes that no one ever asked for, creating a rift between, I don't know, healers and tanks? Wait, the devs already did that for you. Wait, no, that wasn't me criticizing the devs. A video over now. Cut the tape. I am the one winged gamer, doing you a favor. Bad opinions, but admit they got some flavor. And if you've got some time, here's a run that you can savor. One more reminder, Yoshi P is our savior. A great creator that doesn't need haters, and it makes you a traitor to say.
Like, there's like a software that you use to like, I don't know, you can move your character and just like edit it in a way. Like, I mean, you can stream with it, or you can like make video content with it. I don't know. Like, I never got myself too much into it, but
can do greater. Don't know Japanese, but I'm still his translator, so 12-inch potato. Call that a dictator. Heat it up in your crater, or save it for later. Chew you up, spit you out. Masticator, give it up. Sims making all our little hearts waver.
Wow.
New novel, seduced by the 14 operator.
That's pretty good. Work for sanity.
That's actually pretty funny.
No, that was.
They should do that after every video. That rap thing.
Yeah, she does do that, and every time there's a new song, you saw me watch these videos. Do you never listen to the rap? Like that's
usually when I'm like watching this, I'm at work, so like.
Oh right. No, this is like the candy at the end of the video. Like it's coming. Like even when it's the end of the video, it's kind of a cool thing for like the algorithm because you get people to watch until the end because they want to listen to the song. Like no one really skips to the song. You will normally like watch the video and just like have something at the end. I think it's awesome.